All right, good morning, Pre-PT Nation. We have been blasted these past few weeks with a bunch of different tip request questions um, asking about different specifics for transcript entry. Some of them have been a little bit more specific, but a lot of them have been like, go over transcript entry. And that's a pretty hard to do because I don't know what your question is. So when it comes to this, PTCAS really has done a good job with putting in a ton of information about transcript entry. Anything that you can think of, right? Whether you've got semester, trimester, quarter credits, test credits, AP classes, honors classes, study abroad courses, all of these different things that you could think of. Because guess what happens when you have the PTCAS Help Center? It's where they post the most commonly asked questions about a topic. Okay? So I'm not trying to be dismissive about this, but without a ton of specific information, it's really difficult for me to know specifically what you need help with. Okay? I can tell that there's quite a bit of anxiety about putting in your transcripts, making sure you do that correctly, and that's a good thing, but you really don't need to stress out. One question in particular that I wanted to bring up was if you are not sure if you have your unofficial transcript or your official transcript for you filling out your piece of the transcript entry, it's okay to use an unofficial transcript. This is from my own personal experience as a coach with what we've recommended people to do. We have never had issues with applicants who've asked us about that specific question using their unofficial transcript. I also looked up multiple Reddit threads that people were asking and sharing, and the vast majority of the consensus was it's totally fine to use an unofficial transcript for you to enter your own transcript information in PTCAS under academic history. Okay? Something else that I wanted to point your attention to, if you are just overwhelmed with your personal transcript situation, you can also look into the professional transcript entry service. Okay, so let's go over here. We're going to go to this tab. So the professional transcript entry service is you can have folks at PTCAS complete and enter your transcript information for you. If you have 1 to 3 transcripts, it's $80. 4 to 6, $110. 7 or more, $150. While I don't think this is necessary for most applicants, if you really are stressed out about completing the transcript entry section of your application, have somebody else help you. Okay, life is too short. You don't need to have an anxiety attack or a panic attack every time you try to fill out this section. If it's really that stressful for you, then please just go get some help. Okay. But by and large, if you come to the transcript entry section of PTCAS, you are going to get answers to probably 99% of your questions. And then if you don't have answers, and it's a very specific question, then go and use either the chat services and talk to a PTCAS representative or give them a call directly. Okay? One thing that I will talk about that's really important is to please make sure you enter all of the colleges that you've attended where you've obtained college credit. So the first place that you obtained a credit, if you've transferred that credit, you need to make sure that you include that. All right? And you need to include that institution or university. And then they need to have their own separate transcript sent to PTCAS. So go through, itemize. If you've transferred to a bunch of different schools, then your journey may be a little bit more complicated, but you could do this. If you go through and you map it out and you look at each place you've attended and the credits you were received there, even if they transferred, you're going to need to put all of the different institutions down where you originally obtained that credit. That was another common question. And guys, coming down and looking, they have this video is actually pretty good. I know it's old from 2012, but it gets you a good start. And then looking at all of these different questions, I'm not going to go through each and every one of them individually, but please go through, read the instructions. Most of the time it's going to address what's going on. And then if you're really stressing out, you can use the professional transcript entry service. And remember that when you submit your application, if there's any discrepancy between what you enter in academic history and what's on your official transcript, PTCAS is going to notify you. So there's several different fail safes that are on this section, and it just breaks my heart that people are losing sleep over this when it doesn't need to be this way. Okay, if you have more specific questions, direct them towards the PTCAS representatives who deal with this day in and day out. In terms of transcript entry, there's a lot of things we know when it comes to the vast majority of questions. But if you have a very nuanced or specific question, just ask them, and they're going to be able to help address those things for you. So I know this video is very broad, very general, for the reason being when there's a lot of tip requests that are very broad and general, I try to give them a broad stroke and say, hey, this is the best place to go to get your questions answered if you have nuanced ones, and to let people know about the professional transcript entry service if that's really something that you want to do. Again, we don't personally recommend it because applying is expensive enough, but if you just feel completely overwhelmed with it and you need some help and you're having a hard time getting things organized, it may be in your best interest, just for peace of mind and for time's sake, for you to use that service. So hope this video has been helpful for you to direct you to places to get additional questions answered, and to give you some peace of mind if you're using the recommendations that we listed in the video. Take care, have an awesome rest of your day, and happy applying.